ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of Foreclosurepedia Podcast. Foreclosurepedia Podcast, presentation of the Foreclosurepedia Radio Network, which premieres each Sunday evening. I want to talk to everybody a little bit about equipment. This is actually a property we're doing for a private investment firm, a REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust out of Virginia. You can see the height of the grass here. This was some pretty gnarly, crazy shit that we had to deal with. And I wanted to show you a piece of equipment. This is the Cub Cadet LTX 1050. Buy them at any box store, you know, $1,500, $1,600. You know, pennies on the dollar. And the reason I wanted to talk to you all a little bit today about the mower is because everybody sees the people out there with tens of thousands of dollars in equipment. And that's well and good. You know, I mean, I actually have a couple of larger walk-behinds and zero-turns John Deere. But for you people who are actually just getting into the industry, here's the reality. See that grass right there? That grass right there was weeds and grass like that. So, if you're just getting into the industry and people are condemning you or telling you, oh, you don't have the equipment or you don't know what you're doing, here's the reality, folks. Everybody has to start somewhere. I've been doing this 19 years. I have a full arsenal of equipment. I actually have a couple of push mowers, but I don't throw them in the back of the Pinto. You know, I have a truck. But what I'm driving at here, folks, is that if you cannot afford initially going out and taking out a $20,000 or a $30,000 note, don't do it. Don't do it, folks, because you don't need to. Now, I've cut grass on a regular basis well above there. If I'm going back into some of these really rural environments, I can't be taking zero turns and huge trailers into those places. Just can't do it. And you can also see at the end of the day, I mean, that's the results. There's no problems. Now, the other deal I wanted to talk to you about as well, I don't know if this is going to focus in on that. You can see you got these little, you know, I call it snakes in the grass, these little deals that pop up all over. You know, you're going to have to go over it a couple of times. And make sure you do that. Get all your grass, and what I do, this is a mulcher, so I'll go over it multiple times. I'll get it mulched, I'll get it kicked off over to the side. Now, the production outfits like Safeguard and A to Z, MCS, all those people, you know, they're about their production. They don't really care at the end of the day as long as the grass is cut. The investment firms, you know, they want something clean. Why? Because, you know, these 501 Regulation D outfits, they're flipping those properties. So like I say once again, and you guys always know what my podcast is about. It's about you, the contractor. It's about the small guy. It's not about regionals. It's not about contractors who are farming out work to other contractors. It's about you, men and women, out there in the trenches who are trying to figure out how are you going to pay next month's cell phone bill. That's what this is about. So once again, the Cub Cadet LTX 1050, and this isn't an advertisement. It's not a paid sponsorship. I don't endorse them. It's just simply what I bought. Like I say, I've taken it to hell and back. It's Kohler engine. You know, I've had this one here, I want to say 2 years. I've taken it to hell and back. I changed the oil. You know, I'm very judicious about that. But, you know, $1,500. I've probably, with this one alone, and you're rarely going to see this. I don't know if you can see it in the light. These tires are bald. Most people have never seen a mower within a year or two that has bald wheels. That's literally the amount of hours that I've gotten out of it, and I anticipate probably another 5 or 6 more years on this. you know what? I've probably made $20,000 on the so my ROI is about 18 grand. You know, not back. You don't have to be cool. You don't have to be the big guy on the block. If anybody out there is making fun of you because you don't have the enormous John Deere equipment, you know what? Screw them. Screw them day and night, because those are going to be the people who are going to roll yet more bankruptcies upon my back and your back. So once again, the LTX 1050 Cub Cadet works for me. Hey, if you guys have any stories, you know, about what you're using out there that works good for you, let me know. Let me know. Let's do something. Hell, send me your information. Let me interview you on the podcast, because at the end of the day, I do the podcast for you folks out there. This is your show. So once again, it's been another edition of Foreclosurepedia podcast. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. COO@foreclosurepedia.org.